Hello, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the very basics of the MeHaRyTe method. So what is the MeHaRyTe method? Well, the MeHaRyTe method is a method that I have developed that breaks down orchestral music into 4 basic layers. It's really a breakdown of my thought process when I compose orchestral music or music with orchestral elements. The beauty of this method is that it can really be applied to any style of orchestral music, or any genre really, since it only teaches you about how to structure your instrumentation palette and not how to write note by note really. In my opinion, great orchestral music is a combination of 4 basic elements or layers that sonically blend into one coherent sound and synergetically complement each other. So the name MeHaRyTe is really an acronym derived from melody, harmony, rhythm, and texture, which are the 4 basic layers in an orchestral sound. With the MeHaRyTe method, you will learn how to take advantage of every single instrument in the orchestral setup and produce lush and alluring sounds. Not only will you learn how to structure your orchestral piece vertically, but also how to build the structure horizontally. With adding or removing layers from your orchestral sound, you are helping the music constantly be interesting. The melody is usually the most important part of any great composition. Without a doubt, you want your melody heard at all times. We can probably all sing great melodies and themes from John Williams' scores like Jurassic Park or Star Wars. But not only are his melodies timeless, the orchestration he uses to embellish them is always interesting as well. With the MeHaRyTe method, you will learn how to make your melody stand out and be heard while keeping the rest of the orchestra, your accompaniment, interesting. Harmony is the second most important layer. Harmony or chordal accompaniment can enhance the melody's emotional feeling or portray the melody in a completely different context. So choosing the right chords for your melody is crucial, since different chordal accompaniments can give immensely various emotional connotations. Let's listen to a few bars of my piece called The Kiss. In this example, the melody is being played by the first violins, the second violins, the violi, flute, oboe, and 2 clarinets, while the harmony is really being held only by the horns, with the double basses and bassoons providing the bass notes. Now let's talk about the rhythmic layer. With a rhythmic layer, your composition will get movement and drive. A great rhythmic line must complement the melody and the harmony. You usually want to portray a feeling that your music is going somewhere. You never want your audience to feel that they are just standing still. This is one of the reasons why a good rhythm line is so important. The rhythmic layer can stand on its own if it's played by a percussive instrument, such as a snare drum, but if the rhythm is played by a melodic instrument, like for example the viola or the violin section, then the rhythmic layer becomes symbiotic with the harmonic layer. Since it has to follow the notes of the harmony in order for it to be in synergy or in tune, if you will, with the rest of the orchestra. Let's listen to a short excerpt from my piece From a New Land. In this section, the first violins, second violins, violi, and celli are playing the melody, while the rhythm layer is being held by the snare drum, timpani, tuba, and trombones, and the harmonic layer is being held by the horn section and the double basses. texture is our last layer. We might think of it as the least important layer since it cannot stand on its own. It is by default interlocked with the harmonic and the melodic layer. You will see why that is the case when we look at the texture layer more closely in our future lessons. But nevertheless, although I said it is the least important layer since it cannot stand on its own, I will now contradict my own words and say that we can often distinguish a great orchestral writer from a not-so-great one with the observation on how well they are able to use texture in their writing. Great texture gives the music depth and brilliance, and mastery of using orchestral textures will make your music stand out from the crowd. A great example of brilliant texture in an orchestral piece is Daybreak from the ballet Daphnis and Chloe by Maurice Ravel. This piece really opened the world of textures to me, and I really highly suggest you listen to the whole Daphnis and Chloe suite by Maurice Ravel. It's really an amazing piece of work. And now, so you'll really get a better understanding of what texture is, let's listen to the opening few bars of my piece From a New Land that uses woodwinds, harp, and celeste to create a very dense and rich texture. So these are the 4 layers that we will mainly be dealing with in all of our future lessons. And even though we've been using full orchestral examples in this video, we will only be focusing on the string section in the first module of the MeHaRyTe method course. And the reason for this is that the string section is the most important section of the orchestra. It's like the glue of the orchestra. It's its fundament. So in order for you to become a great orchestral writer, I think it's crucial for us to first explore the string section and really master it until we move on and add additional instruments to our orchestra. I hope that I sparked some interest in you with this video in what is possible with the use of the MeHaRyTe method. So until the next lesson, I wish you happy composing.